Slow English for people who understand, but can't speak. Hi, I'm Michael Carter. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is not about difficult grammar, confusing rules, or trying to sound like someone you're not. This channel is about helping you use English confidently in real life. And today's topic is slow English for people who understand, but can't speak. Let me start by saying something important. If you understand English but can't speak it, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not bad at English. You are not slow. You are not failing. You are simply stuck in silence. And millions of English learners around the world are stuck in the exact same place. You understand everything, but when it's time to speak, you watch English videos. You listen to podcasts. You understand movies. You know the meaning of words. But when someone looks at you and asks a simple question like, "How are you?" your mind goes blank. You know the answer. You understand the question, but your mouth doesn't move. This is one of the most painful experiences for English learners. And the worst part is, people around you think you know English. So you feel pressure. You feel embarrassed. You feel afraid to try. This video exists for you. The biggest lie you were taught about speaking English. Let's clear something up right now. You were taught that to speak English, you must know perfect grammar, have a big vocabulary, think fast, sound confident. That is a lie. Speaking English does not start with confidence. Confidence comes after speaking. And speaking does not start with speed. Speaking starts with slowness. That's why this video focuses on slow English. Why slow English works when fast English fails. When English is fast, your brain panics. It tries to translate, remember rules, avoid mistakes, and then it shuts down. But when English is slow, your brain relaxes, pressure disappears. Understanding turns into speaking. Slow English creates a safe space. A space where you can finally use the English you already understand. You don't have a language problem. You have a speaking problem. This is very important to understand. Most learners think, I need to learn more English. But the truth is, you don't need more English. You need to activate the English you already know. Think about it. If someone spoke your native language slowly, clearly, without pressure, you could respond easily. English is the same. Your brain already has English inside it. It just needs time and safety to come out. Why you freeze when you try to speak? Let's talk honestly. You freeze because you're afraid of mistakes. You're afraid of judgment. You're afraid of sounding stupid. So your brain chooses silence. Silence feels safe. But silence is also the reason you stay stuck. This video is not here to push you. It's here to slow things down so your brain feels safe enough to speak. What this series is about, very important. This is not a grammar lesson, a vocabulary test, a fast conversation video. This is slow, clear, gentle, repeatable. This is English for people who understand, think, listen, but stay silent. If that's you, You're in the right place. Speaking is a muscle. And yours has been quiet too long. Think about speaking like a muscle. You've been listening a lot. You've been understanding a lot. But you haven't been using your speaking muscle. So of course it feels weak. Of course it feels uncomfortable. That doesn't mean you can't speak. It means you haven't practiced speaking slowly and safely. That changes here. Why we start slow and stay slow. In this series, sentences will be slow, pauses will be long, repetition will be normal. Why? Because fluency is built with comfort, not pressure. Fast English is for confident speakers. Slow English is for building confidence. And confidence always comes first. A very important reminder. Let me say this clearly. You do not need to speak fast. You do not need perfect sentences. You do not need to sound native. You only need to use your voice. Slowly, calmly, without fear. What will happen if you stay with this series? If you stay with this series, English will stop feeling scary. Your mouth will move more naturally. You will panic less. You will stop translating, so much not because you learned more English, but because you finally used it. This is a safe place to practice. No one is judging you here. No one is correcting you. No one is rushing you. You can pause, repeat, listen again. This is your space. One sentence I want you to remember. Say this sentence out loud. I understand English. I am learning to speak it. Say it again. Because understanding is already your strength. Now we are turning it into speaking. What comes next? In the next segment, we will start slow listening practice. Very simple sentences. Very clear pronunciation. Plenty of time to think. No pressure. This is where many silent learners finally say, I can speak. If you've ever said, I understand English but I can't speak, this series is for you. Take a breath. Relax your shoulders. And stay with me. Why your mouth stays silent, even when your mind understands. If you watched the first segment carefully, you already know something important. You don't have an English problem. You have a speaking blockage. And today, we are going to understand why that blockage exists. Because once you understand the reason, the fear starts to lose its power. Understanding is not the same as speaking. Let's start with a truth most people never explain. Understanding English and speaking English are two different skills. Understanding is passive. Speaking is active. You trained your understanding for years. Listening in class, watching videos, reading subtitles, memorizing meanings. But your speaking muscle stayed quiet. So when you try to speak, your brain says, wait, this is new. And it stops you. That pause you feel, that freeze. That's not failure. That's an unused muscle waking up. Why your brain freezes? When you try to speak, your brain is a safety machine. When it senses danger, it protects you. And for many English learners, speaking English feels like danger. Why? Because speaking English is connected to embarrassment, being corrected, being laughed at, being judged. Even if those things happened years ago, Your brain remembers the feeling. So when it's time to speak, your brain chooses silence. Silence feels safer than mistakes. The school system trained you to stay quiet. Think about how you learned English. In school, wrong answers were punished, mistakes were highlighted, speaking meant pressure. So your brain learned this rule. If I'm not sure, don't speak. That rule helped you survive school. But now, that same rule is blocking your fluency. This series is here to change that rule. Why fast English makes everything worse. Many learners try to fix their problem by watching fast English, fast conversations, native speed podcasts, quick dialogues, and they think, if I listen more, I'll speak better. But fast English does the opposite. It increases pressure, increases fear, increases comparison. Your brain feels left behind. And when the brain feels behind, it shuts down. That's why we use slow English here. Slow English creates safety. When English is slow, your brain has time, your mouth relaxes, fear decreases. Slow English sends a message to your brain. You're safe. You can try. That safety is everything. Without safety, there is no speaking. You are not shy. You are careful. Many learners say, I'm shy. But most of the time, that's not true. You're not shy in your native language. You speak. You joke. You argue. You express opinions. So the problem is not your personality. The problem is fear of mistakes in English. That fear makes you careful. And careful people stay quiet. Why silence feels comfortable, but dangerous. Silence protects you from sounding wrong, being judged, feeling stupid. But silence also keeps you stuck, kills confidence, delays progress. This is the trap many learners live in for years. They understand more and more English, but speak less and less. Today, you become aware of that trap. Awareness is the first step out. You don't need more words. You need more permission. Here's another important truth. Most learners already know enough words to speak. They just don't give themselves permission to use them. They wait for perfect sentences, perfect pronunciation, perfect confidence. But perfection never arrives. Permission must come before perfection. And today, you give yourself that permission. The new rule you need to learn. Here is the new rule we are introducing in this series. Speaking imperfect English is better than perfect silence. Read that again. Because that sentence changes everything. What slow English practice really does. Slow English is not about learning new words. It is about reducing pressure, creating rhythm, building speaking habit. When English is slow and repeated, your mouth gets used to movement, your brain stops panicking, speaking becomes normal. Normal is the goal. Not impressive. Not advanced. Normal. Why repetition is not a problem. Some learners say, I already know these sentences. Good. That's exactly why you should speak them. Repetition builds confidence, muscle memory, automatic response. Children repeat words thousands of times. That's why they speak without fear. Repetition is not weakness. It's the path to fluency. A simple exercise for today. No pressure. Let's do something very simple. Say this sentence out loud. I understand English. A pause. Now say, I am learning to speak English. Pause. Say them again, slowly, no rush. If your voice feels strange, that's normal. You're waking up a sleeping muscle. What you should not do right now very important. Do not open grammar books. Search for advanced vocabulary. Compare yourself to others. Comparison kills progress. This series is about you and your voice. Progress feels quiet at first. Don't expect a dramatic change today. Progress here feels subtle, quiet, gentle. You may notice less fear, slightly faster response, more comfort. Those are big wins. One sentence to carry forward. Say this sentence today. My English doesn't need to be fast to be real. Say it again. Because real communication is slow sometimes. And that's okay. What comes next? In segment 3, we will begin slow speaking activation. Not conversations yet. Not long sentences. Just safe, simple speaking, step by step. This is where many silent learners finally move their mouth without panic. If this segment described you, then you're exactly where you need to be. Take a breath. Relax your jaw. Stay with me. Activating your voice with slow, safe speaking. If you're still here, that means something important. You didn't run away from the truth. You didn't close the video. You stayed. And staying is the first sign that you are ready to change how you speak English. In segment 1, you understood you are not broken. In segment 2, you understood why your mouth stays silent. Now we move to segment 3. This is where English stops being only in your head and starts moving toward your mouth. Slowly, safely, without pressure. Why speaking feels harder. Then listening feels safe. You can sit quietly. You don't have to respond. No one hears your mistakes. Speaking is different. Speaking exposes you. And your brain doesn't like exposure. That's why today is not about conversation. It's not about talking to people. Today is about activating your voice in the safest way possible. What activating your voice really means. Activating your voice does not mean speaking fast, speaking a lot, speaking perfectly. It means opening your mouth, making English sounds, letting words come out, even if they are slow. Even if they are simple. This step is absolutely necessary. Many learners skip it and stay silent for years. You will not skip it. The biggest mistake silent learners make here is a mistake many silent learners make. They say, I will speak when I feel confident. But confidence does not come first. Action comes first. Confidence is built by speaking, not before speaking. So today, you speak without confidence. And that's okay. The rule of segment 3, here is the most important rule today. Speak slowly enough that your brain feels calm. If you feel rushed, you are going too fast. Slow speaking is not weak speaking. Slow speaking is controlled speaking. Why slow speaking changes everything? When you speak slowly, your brain doesn't panic. You stop translating so much, your mouth relaxes. Fast speaking creates fear. Slow speaking creates safety, and safety creates progress. What to say in segment 3? Very simple. Today, we keep language extremely simple. You will speak short, real sentences. Sentences like, I am here. I am listening. I am learning English. I feel nervous. I feel okay. That's it. No stories yet. No opinions yet. Just presence. Why these simple sentences matter? These sentences do 3 important things. They connect English to your body. They reduce thinking. They build mouth movement. Your mouth needs practice moving in English. Not thinking about English. Moving. A safe speaking exercise. Do this slowly. If you can, pause the video and do this with me. Say out loud, I am here. A pause. I am listening. A pause. I am learning English. A pause. Say each sentence slowly. No rush. If your voice shakes, that's normal. You are waking it up. Your brain will try to interrupt you. While you speak, your brain may say, this sounds stupid. This is too easy. I already know this. Ignore that voice. That voice wants to protect you from discomfort. But comfort is not where fluency grows. Why easy English is powerful English. Many learners think easy English is useless. That's wrong. Easy English builds confidence, builds rhythm, builds habit. Advanced English without habit creates silence. Easy English with habit creates fluency. You are not performing. You are practicing. Say this clearly to yourself. I am not performing. I am practicing. There is no audience here. No judge. No score. Just you and your voice. When your mind goes blank at some point today, your mind may go empty. That's okay. When it happens, say, I am thinking. I am still here. Oh yes? Even that counts. Speaking is about keeping the voice alive, not about perfect ideas. The most important shift in segment 3. This segment teaches you one powerful shift. English is a physical skill, not only a mental one. You trained your mind for years. Now you train your mouth. That requires repetition, not intelligence. Repetition is not boring. It's healing. When you repeat simple English, fear decreases, confidence increases, speaking becomes normal. Your brain slowly learns. Speaking English is not dangerous. That lesson changes everything. A 5-minute daily practice. Very important. From today. Do this once a day. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Speak slowly using sentences like, I am. I feel. I am learning. Repeat if needed. 5 minutes is enough. Consistency matters more than length. What you should not do after this segment. Do not judge your accent. Analyze your mistakes. Compare yourself. Comparison will kill this progress. This is your journey. How progress feels at this stage. Progress here does not feel dramatic. It feels like less fear, more comfort, slightly easier speaking. These small changes are huge. They mean your brain is starting to trust you. One sentence you must remember today. Say this sentence out loud. I am allowed to speak English slowly. Say it again. Because permission removes fear. Why many learners quit here. And why you won't. Many learners quit at this stage because it feels too simple, it feels uncomfortable, it feels slow. But this stage is where real change begins. If you skip it, you stay silent. If you stay with it, fluency starts. You are choosing to stay. What comes next? In segment 4, we will go one step further. We will start connecting sentences. Not fast, not long, just enough to move from words to flow. This is where many learners feel their first real confidence. If you've ever said, "I understand English, but I can't speak," this segment is for you. You are not late. You are not behind. You are starting correctly. Take a breath. Relax your shoulders. If you reach this segment, something meaningful is already happening. Your mouth no longer feels completely frozen. Your voice doesn't feel as strange as before. English is starting to feel possible. That may sound small, but for someone who understands English and still stays silent, this is a big shift. In the last segment, you activated your voice. You spoke simple sentences. You proved to your brain that speaking English is not dangerous. Now we move to the next step. This step is where many silent learners finally feel flow for the first time. Why you still feel stuck? After speaking words, even after activating your voice, you may notice something. You can say, "I am learning English. I feel nervous." But then, you stop. There is a gap. That gap is not vocabulary. That gap is not grammar. That gap is connection. Today, we close that gap. The problem is not what to say. It's how to continue. Most silent learners don't know how to continue speaking. They think, "I said my sentence. Now what?" So silence comes back. But fluent speakers don't always have new ideas. They simply connect ideas. And that's what you learned today. The rule of segment 4. Here is today's most important rule. Never stop after one sentence. Add one more. Not a perfect sentence. Not a long sentence. Just one more simple sentence. That's it. Why connection creates confidence. When you connect sentences, your speaking time increases, silence loses power, confidence grows naturally. Confidence does not come from sounding smart. Confidence comes from not stopping. The simple connectors that change everything. You do not need advanced connectors. You only need 4 words. But because, so these words are small. But they are powerful. They turn one sentence into 2. And 2 sentences into flow. What to say in segment 4's exact practice. Speak slowly. Out loud. Use this structure sentence us connectors a sentence. For example, I am learning English, and I practice every day. I feel nervous, but I keep speaking. I understand English because I listen a lot. I speak slowly so I feel calm. That's all you need. Why this works for silent learners? Silent learners freeze because they feel pressure to be good. This method removes that pressure. You are not creating speeches. You are connecting thoughts. And your brain already knows how to do that. Slow English is about control, not speed. Let me remind you of something important. Fast English is impressive. Slow English is powerful. When you speak slowly, You control the pace, you control fear. You control your voice. Control builds confidence. A safe speaking exercise. Very effective. If you can, pause and do this with me. Say out loud, I am learning English and I feel nervous. Pause. Now say, I feel nervous but I am practicing. Pause. Say it again. Slowly. Notice something. You didn't stop. You continued. That is fluency in its earliest form. When your brain says, this is too easy, your brain may say, this is too simple. This is not real English. Ignore that voice. That voice wants complexity. But complexity is not what you need right now. You need movement. Simple movement. Why simple English is not childish. Some learners feel embarrassed speaking simply. They think it sounds childish. But real-life English is simple. Native speakers use short sentences, simple words, easy connectors. They don't think in grammar. They think in meaning. You are learning the same thing, slowly. The one more sentence habit. From today, build this habit every time you speak. Ask yourself, can I add one more sentence? Even if it's repetitive. Even if it feels boring. Repetition creates rhythm. Rhythm creates flow. What to do when you feel stuck mid-sentence? This will happen. When it does, say one of these sentences, let me think. How can I say this? What I mean is, these sentences buy you time, keep your voice active, prevent silence. They are part of real English. A 7-minute daily practice for segment 4. Set a timer for 7 minutes. Choose one topic. Your day learning English, how you feel rules. Every idea must have 2 sentences, use and da. But ga because are so speak slowly. If you repeat yourself, it's okay. Repetition is training. Why silence is losing its power now, by this stage. Your brain feels safer, your mouth moves more easily, fear feels smaller. You are proving something important to yourself. I can continue. That belief changes everything. A powerful sentence to remember today. Say this sentence out loud. I don't stop after one sentence. Say it again. Because fluency is not about brilliance. It's about continuation. What progress feels like here? Progress here feels like longer speaking, fewer freezes, more comfort. Not perfection. Comfort. Comfort leads to confidence. Why many learners skip this step? And stay stuck. Many learners rush. They jump to conversations, debates, advanced topics, and they freeze again. You are not rushing. You are building the foundation. That's why this works. What comes next in segment 5? We will take another big step. You will start expressing opinions and feelings. The kind of English that makes speaking personal. This is where English starts to sound like your voice. If you've ever felt, I can speak a little, but then I stop, this segment was for you. You are not failing. You are learning correctly. Take a breath, relax your jaw. If you've reached this point, something important has already changed. You are no longer completely silent. You can speak simple sentences. You can connect ideas. That alone puts you ahead of millions of English learners. Now we move into segment 5. This is the stage where English stops being just practice and starts becoming personal. Because today, you learn how to express feelings and opinions without pressure, without fear, and without trying to sound perfect. Why feelings and opinions are hard to express in English, many learners say. I can describe things, but I can't express what I feel. That's because feelings and opinions feel risky. When you express an opinion, you feel exposed, you fear being wrong, you fear judgment. In your native language, this feels natural. In English, it feels dangerous. So learners stay safe by staying neutral. Today, you stop doing that. Important truth you must understand. You do not need advanced English to express opinions. You need simple frames. Native speakers use simple frames all the time. They don't speak in perfect sentences. They speak in patterns. And today, you learn those patterns. The rule of segment 5. Here is today's most important rule. Use opinion starters, not explanations. You are not proving anything. You are not debating. You are simply sharing your thoughts. The most powerful opinion starters. Very important. Practice these phrases slowly. I think. I feel. I believe. In my opinion. For me. These phrases are powerful because they give you time, they reduce pressure, they make mistakes acceptable. When you start with these phrases, your brain relaxes. What to say in segment 5. Say exact practice. Speak slowly and clearly. Use this structure. Opinion starter says simple idea task connector. Optional, for example. I think learning English is important. I feel nervous, but I keep practicing. In my opinion, slow English helps me. For me, speaking is harder than listening. I believe practice is more important than grammar. These sentences are simple, and they are real English. Why this works for silent learners. Silent learners stay quiet because they feel pressure to be correct. Opinion starters remove that pressure. When you say, I think, or I feel, there is no right or wrong. Grammar matters less, meaning matters more. This is where confidence begins. You are allowed to be simple. Let me say this clearly. You are allowed to express simple opinions. You don't need big words. You don't need long sentences. Simple opinions build strong speaking habits. When your opinion feels too basic, your brain may say, this sounds too basic. This is not good English. Ignore that voice. That voice is comparing you to fluent speakers. You are not competing. You are building. Basic today becomes fluent tomorrow. A safe opinion exercise, very effective. If you can do this now, say out loud, I think English is difficult. Pause. Now say, I think English is difficult, but I am improving. A pause. Now say, I feel nervous because I am learning. A pause. Notice something. You are speaking longer. You are expressing yourself. You are not freezing. That's progress. Why feelings matter in speaking. When you speak about feelings, English becomes emotional, speaking feels meaningful, motivation increases. This is why many learners suddenly feel, I want to speak more. Emotion creates momentum. The no apology rule, very important. From today onward, remember this. Do not apologize for your English. Do not say, sorry for my English. My English is bad. These sentences train your brain to feel weak. Instead, say, I'm learning. Let me try. Language shapes mindset. What to do when you don't know a word? This will happen today. When it does, say, I don't know the word, but, or, how can I say this? Then continue. Never stop speaking. Stopping feeds fear. Continuing builds confidence. A 8-minute daily practice for segment 5. Set a timer for 8 minutes. Choose one topic: learning English, confidence, daily life, goals, rules. Every sentence starts with I think. I feel. For me. Speak slowly, use connectors. If possible, repetition is welcome. Repetition builds comfort. How progress feels at this stage. Progress here feels like speaking feels more natural. English feels more personal. Fear is smaller. You may still feel nervous. That's normal. Nervous speaking is still speaking. Why this stage is a turning point. This is where English becomes your voice. Not textbook English. Not classroom English. Your English. And once English feels personal, silence loses its power. A sentence you must remember today. Say this sentence out loud. My thoughts matter, even in simple English. Say it again. Because confidence starts with self-respect. What comes next? In segment 6, we will move into something powerful. You will learn how to respond naturally, the way real conversations work. Short responses. Real reactions. This is where English stops feeling lonely. If you've ever felt, I can speak, but I don't know how to express myself, this segment was for you. You are not late. You are not weak. You are learning correctly. Take a breath. Relax your shoulders. If you're here now, you've already crossed an invisible line. You are no longer just practicing English. You are starting to use English. You can speak simple sentences, connect ideas, express feelings and opinions. Now comes the next challenge. The challenge that separates practice English from real life English. This is responding naturally. Why conversations still feel hard? Many learners say, I can speak when I'm alone, but I freeze when someone talks to me. That's because conversations are not about speaking a lot. They are about responding. Real conversations are fast, messy, and imperfect. People don't wait for perfect sentences. They react. And if you don't know how to react, silence returns. Today, we fix that. The biggest myth about speaking English. Here is a dangerous myth. To speak well, I must say long, perfect sentences. That is false. Real English conversations are made of short answers, small reactions, simple responses. Native speakers speak in pieces, not paragraphs. You don't need to talk more. You need to respond better. The rule of segment 6 here is today's most important rule. Short responses are powerful. You do not need to explain everything. You only need to show that you are engaged. What responding naturally. Really means responding naturally means answering simply, reacting honestly, keeping the conversation alive. It does not mean perfect grammar, long explanations, fast speaking. Natural English is relaxed English. The reaction phrases that change everything today. You will practice a small group of phrases. These phrases are used constantly in real conversations. Yes. No. Maybe. I think so. I'm not sure. That makes sense. I agree. I don't agree. But I understand. For me, it's different. These phrases may look simple, but they are conversation fuel. Why these phrases are so important? These phrases give you time to think, reduce pressure, prevent silence, sound natural. When you use them, people feel comfortable talking to you. And when people feel comfortable, conversations flow. What to say in segment 6I. Exact practice. Imagine someone is speaking to you. You respond. For example, say out loud, someone asks me, "Is English difficult?" I answer yes, but it gets easier with practice. Pause. Now, someone asks me, "Do you practice every day?" I answer, "I try to." Pause. Notice something. Your answers are short, but they are real. Why short answers build confidence? Short answers reduce fear of mistakes, reduce thinking time, feel manageable. You are not trapped inside your head. You are responding in the moment. That's fluency. A very important shift you must make. Stop trying to sound impressive. Start trying to sound human. Humans don't speak perfectly. They hesitate. They pause. They react. You are allowed to do the same. The thinking out loud skill. When you don't know what to say, don't stop. Say one of these. Let me think. Himambo. I'm not sure, but what I mean is. These phrases keep your voice active. Silence disappears. A safe conversation exercise. Very effective. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Ask yourself simple questions and answer out loud. Questions like, how do I feel today? Why am I learning English? What is difficult for me? What is getting easier? Rules. Answers must be short. Use reaction phrases. Speak slowly. This builds response speed, not vocabulary. Why speed comes from practice, not talent. Many learners believe fluent speakers are fast thinkers. That's not true. They are fast responders. And response speed comes from repetition, familiarity, comfort. That's what you're building now. When you feel slow, that's okay. Let me say this clearly. You are allowed to be slow. Slow does not mean weak. Slow means controlled. Fast English without control creates panic. Slow English with control creates confidence. Why you should stop comparing yourself? At this stage, comparison is dangerous. If you compare yourself to native speakers, fluent YouTubers, advanced learners, you will feel small. Instead, compare yourself to who you were before, how silent you used to be. That's real progress. One powerful sentence for segment 6. Say this sentence out loud. I don't need perfect English to have conversations. Say it again. Because conversations are about connection, not perfection. How progress feels at this stage, progress here feels like faster reactions, less panic, more comfort, more willingness to speak. You may still make mistakes. That's normal. Mistakes don't break conversations. Silence does. Why many learners never reach this stage? Many learners study too much, speak too little, wait too long. They understand English deeply, but never learn to respond. You are different. You are building real, life English. Preparing for the final step. You have done something important. You moved from silenced words to sentences, cool opinions, care responses. That is a complete transformation. Now we move to the final segment. What comes next in segment 7? We will review everything, build confidence, lock in habits, prepare you to continue on your own. This is where many learners finally believe, I can do this. If you ever thought, I understand English, but conversations scare me, this segment was for you. You are not behind. You are right on time. Take a breath. Relax your jaw. From silent learner to real English speaker, if you are still here, pause for a moment. Not because this is the end, but because something important has already happened. You stayed. Most English learners quit quietly. They watch a little. They feel uncomfortable. And they disappear. You didn't. That already tells me something about you. You are not lazy. You are not incapable. You were simply never shown the right way to speak. Until now. Let's look at how far you've come. At the beginning of this series, you were silent. You understood English. You listened. You thought. But your mouth didn't move. Now look at what has changed. You learned that silence is not safety. Mistakes are not danger. Slow English is powerful. You activated your voice. You connected sentences. You expressed opinions. You learned how to respond naturally. That is not small progress. That is transformation. Why this moment matters so much. Many learners stop right before this moment. They say, I'll practice later. I'll speak when I'm confident. But confidence does not appear suddenly. Confidence is built. And you have been building it. Quietly, slowly, correctly. This segment is about one thing. Believing that you are already becoming an English speaker. Not someday. Now, the biggest shift you made, even if you didn't notice, at the start, English controlled you. It created fear, pressure, silence. Now something has shifted. You are starting to control English. You decide to speak slowly, to continue even with mistakes, to respond instead of freezing. That shift changes everything. You are no longer learning English. This may sound strange, but listen carefully. You are no longer just learning English. You are using English. Using English means you speak even when unsure. You respond even when nervous. You don't wait for perfection. That is what real English speakers do. Why you don't need a perfect moment. Many learners are waiting for the perfect sentence, the perfect accent, the perfect confidence. That moment never comes. But here is the truth. The moment you speak imperfectly is the moment you improve. Silence delays fluency. Speaking accelerates it. You chose speaking. Let's kill one last dangerous belief. Somewhere deep inside, many learners believe, I'm too late. I should be better by now. That belief is false. Language has no deadline. The only thing that matters is daily use. 5 minutes a day beats 5 hours once a month, and you already know how to practice correctly now. What slow English gave you? Slow English didn't just help your pronunciation. It gave you safety, control, confidence. It taught your brain one important lesson. Speaking English is not dangerous. Once the brain learns that, fluency starts growing naturally. Why you must continue after this segment. This segment is not a finish line. It is a handover. From guided practice to self-practice. From fear gate to habit. If you stop now, fear slowly returns. If you continue, even a little every day, confidence grows. Your new daily rule, very important, from today. Follow this simple rule. Speak English every day, even when you don't feel like it. Especially then. You don't need long sessions. You need short, slow, honest speaking. 5 to 10 minutes is enough. What to do when motivation is low? Some days, you will feel tired. Some days, you will feel bored. That's normal. On those days, speak anyway, speak badly, speak slowly, motivation follows action. Not the other way around. You will still make mistakes, and that's good. Let me say this clearly: mistakes are not signs of failure. Mistakes are signs of movement. If you are silent, you make no mistakes. But you also make no progress. If you speak, mistakes appear, and fluency grows. Choose growth. One habit that will change everything. Here is a habit that fluent speakers have. They don't judge every sentence they say. They say it. They move on. You must learn this habit too. Speaking is not an exam. It's a skill. And skills grow through repetition. What confidence really feels like? Confidence does not feel like perfection. Confidence feels like, I can try. I don't panic. I can continue. If you feel that even a little, you are succeeding. Say this sentence out loud. Very important. Say it slowly. I am becoming an English speaker by speaking every day. Say it again. Because this sentence is now true. A final reminder for silent learners. If you understand English, but still feel nervous speaking, you are not broken. You are not weak. You are not behind. You were simply taught the wrong way. Now you know the right way. Slow. Safe. Daily. What comes after this series? After this series, you can repeat it, speak along again, use the same method with new topics. The method stays the same. Only your confidence grows. Your closing thought, let me leave you with this: fluency is not built by talent. Fluency is built by permission. You have permission now to speak slowly, to speak imperfectly, to speak anyway. You didn't wait for confidence. You created it. You didn't wait for permission. You gave it to yourself. And that is how real English speakers are made. Stay slow. Stay consistent. And never go back to silence. When you're ready to continue your journey, you don't need a new teacher. You just need your voice. And you already have it.